allow me to start this video with a quote from The Fast Diet by Dr. Michael Mosley and Mimi Spencer. Fasting activates the body's natural healing processes, reduces inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and can even regenerate damaged cells. By triggering autophagy, the body's cellular recycling program, it helps to clear out damaged and dysfunctional cells, leaving behind healthier, more resilient ones. This not only helps to reduce the risk of chronic diseases like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes, but also promotes longevity and overall well-being. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is David and this is Biohacking Athlete, and today we'll be talking about fasting. So what is fasting? Fasting is the practice of abstaining from food and sometimes even water for a certain period of time. It has been practiced for centuries for cultural, religious and health reasons. Fasting has been mentioned in revered scripture like the Bible, Tao Te Ching, Quran or Bhagavad Gita as a means of spiritual purification, healing, but also self-control and self-discipline. There are also many scientific studies and more modern sources like The Complete Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung or The Fast Diet by Dr. Michael Mosley and Mimi Spencer that describe the benefits of fasting and intermittent fasting and provide a flexible plan for incorporating fasting into your daily life. There have been many prominent figures throughout history who have practiced fasting for various reasons, including religious, spiritual, and health purposes. Here are a few examples: Plato, Pythagoras, Mahatma Gandhi, Aristotle, Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, Marcus Aurelius, Benjamin Franklin, Nikola Tesla, and some modern day figures like David Blaine, Steve Jobs, or Terry Crews. Honorable mention. Here is a mind-blowing fact. Angus Barbieri's fast. Angus Giuseppe Barbieri was a Scottish man who fasted for 382 days. That is 1 year and 17 days. From June 1965 to July 1966. He lived on tea, coffee, sparkling water, electrolytes and vitamins while living in his hometown in Tayport, Scotland, and frequently visiting Merrifield Hospital for medical examination. Over this time, he lost 276 pounds, that is equal to 125 kilograms, and set a Guinness World Record for the length of a fast. Initially, only a short-term fast was planned due to doctors believing that short fasts were preferable to longer ones. However, Angus did not believe them, insisting on continuing a long-term water fast. Barbieri's starting weight was recorded at 457 pounds, that is equal to 207 kilograms, and he stopped fasting when he reached his goal weight of 180 pounds. So how does it work? For most animals out in the wild, periods of fast and famine are the norm. So was the case for our remote ancestors who did not eat 4 or 5 meals a day, as most people do these days. Eating has become habitual and we're consuming more food than our bodies actually need. Fasting is a natural and powerful way for the body to heal and regenerate itself, and it also gives our bodies time to process the food we've consumed. Weight loss. Personally, I don't know a better and easier way to lose some extra weight, shred down some body fat, and manage your weight than by fasting. By restricting your eating to a certain period of time, you are likely to consume fewer calories overall, which can lead to weight loss. Additionally, when you fast, your body enters ketosis and is forced to burn stored fat for energy, leading to further weight loss. When your body enters ketosis, it produces ketones, which can be used as an energy source for the brain. This can also lead to improved cognitive function and a reduction in seizures in people with epilepsy. Combining fasting with physical exercise like strength training, cardio, or high-intensity interval training has been shown to be an effective way to improve cardiovascular health, build muscle, and lose fat. Improved insulin resistance. Insulin is often called the fat-producing hormone. Research has shown that fasting can improve insulin sensitivity by reducing insulin resistance. Again, when we fast, our body switches from using glucose as the primary source of energy to using stored fat. This reduces the need for insulin to regulate blood sugar levels, which can improve insulin sensitivity over time. A study published in a journal, Nutrition and Diabetes, shown that fasting for 18 to 20 hours a day improved insulin sensitivity in people with type 2 diabetes. Overall, improving insulin sensitivity through fasting can be an effective way to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and other metabolic disorders, and to promote overall health and well-being. Regeneration and longevity. As you already know, fasting triggers a mechanism called autophagy, which is the body's natural way of cleaning out damaged cells and regenerating new ones. During autophagy, body breaks down and recycles old or damaged proteins and cellular components, which can lead to cellular rejuvenation and repair. This process is thought to be one of the key mechanisms behind the anti-aging effects of fasting. Several studies have shown that fasting can promote longevity and improve markers of aging in both animals and humans. For example, one study published in the journal Cell Metabolism found that periodic fasting in mice led to a 30% increase in lifespan compared to mice that did not fast. Another study published in the journal JAMA Internal Medicine found that fasting was associated with lower risk of age-related chronic diseases like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Reduced inflammation. Fasting can reduce inflammation in your body, which is a key factor for heart disease. Inflammation is a natural response to injury or infection, but chronic inflammation can damage the arteries and increase the risk of heart disease. One study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that fasting reduced markers of inflammation in obese adults. There are documented cases and testimonials of people who have successfully utilized fasting to combat inflammatory diseases like eczema, asthma, psoriasis, cancer, and chronic inflammation. Overall, by reducing risk factors such as cholesterol, blood pressure, and inflammation, fasting can lead to an improved overall health, improved mood and brain function. Fasting can have a positive effect on your mood and your brain function. Studies have shown that fasting can increase production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or simply BDNF, a protein that is important for the growth and survival of neurons in the brain. BDNF has been linked to improved cognitive function, mood regulation, and even production of new brain cells. One study published in the journal Appetite found that alternate day fasting for 8 weeks led to significant improvement in mood in overweight adults. Another study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine found that a 3-day water-only fast improved mood and reduced anxiety in healthy adults. Fasting may also have a positive effect on conditions such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Studies have shown that fasting can increase the production of ketones, which are molecules that the brain can use for energy instead of glucose. This can potentially improve cognitive function and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Self-discipline. Here's a famous quote by Dr. Umar Farooq Abdallah. Hunger is the first element of self-discipline. If you can control what you eat and drink, you can control everything else. Another beneficial aspect of practicing intermittent fasting is the fact that by cultivating it, we're also practicing discipline, which is essential for building healthy habits and reaching your goals. It requires patience and control. However, it usually takes no longer than 2 weeks to adjust to your new eating fasting pattern. You'll start noticing that you don't really get hungry until you reach your eating window, which is another display of how wonderful, intelligent, and complicated design the human body is. Fasting also teaches you better ways of eating. You'll discover that when you get hungry, really hungry, you are more likely to crave the healthy stuff instead of junk food. It's like your body in a fasted state knows exactly what it needs and what it could use right now to nourish your system. Water fast. This involves abstaining from all food except for water, tea, or coffee for a certain period of time, typically 22 to 72 hours or longer. It's important to remember that staying well hydrated is essential. You're also okay to drink tea or coffee, however, without milk or sugar, as that would break your fast. If you're fasting for 48 hours or longer, it's worth replenishing electrolytes in your body. Intermittent fasting. This approach involves restricting food intake to a specific window of time each day, such as only eating for an 8-hour window and fasting for the remaining 16 hours of the day. This is also known as the 16-8 or 16-8 intermittent fasting. What's beautiful about intermittent fasting is that it's completely flexible. Some days you may want to fast for an extra couple of hours because, for example, you're not hungry and you're feeling absolutely fine. And if for any reason that is beyond your control, you eat your last meal, let's say an hour later than usual, then it's not a big deal, as you can simply move your eating window forward and break your fast an hour later than usual to make up for that. Alternate day fasting, or ADF, is a type of intermittent fasting where individuals alternate between periods of eating and periods of fasting. Typically, this involves fasting for a full 24-hour period of time, followed by a 24-hour window of eating and then repeating the cycle. And there is also the 5-2 diet. You can eat normally for 5 days a week and then eat up to only around 500 to 600 calories on each of the other 2 days of the week. How to get started? The easiest way to start is by implementing the 16-8 intermittent fasting into your daily life. This means you'll fast for at least 16 hours a day, and your eating window consists of the remaining 8 hours of your day. I recommend eating your last meal around 6-7 p.m. because that way you can break your fast 10 or 11 a.m. the next day. This will start your 8-hour eating window and then the cycle repeats. It's that easy. You can make it flexible, which means if you don't feel particularly hungry by 10 a.m., you can fast for a couple more hours and extend your fasting period. It's worth keeping in mind that this will also shrink your eating window. If for any reason that is beyond your control, you are forced to eat your last meal later than usual, then it's not a big deal because you can make up for it by fasting for the next 16 hours and reset the cycle by eating your last meal according to your routine. It's worth keeping in mind that if you drink tea or coffee, it's okay to do that as long as you don't add milk or sugar, as that would break your fast. Pretty simple, isn't it? Your body may take some time to adjust, however, it's no longer than a week, and in most cases it's 3 to 5 days. My story. I started intermittent fasting around 5 years ago. I was working afternoon shifts in a coffee shop, and I was never the kind of person who liked eating breakfast early in the morning. My mom used to tell me of saying, "You've got to eat breakfast because you need energy." But for me, it always felt like forcing it into my system, as I was never hungry in the morning. Eventually, my mom gave up and stopped pushing me to eat breakfast once she realized I'm functioning pretty well without it. When I started working afternoon shifts, me and my gym bro were talking about intermittent fasting a lot back then, and I thought it's a perfect time to implement it into my routine. I'd usually start work around 1:15 in the afternoon and have my lunch around 3 p.m. That was my breakfast. After ending my shift around 7:30 p.m, I'd hit the gym and then eat my last meal at home around 9-10 p.m. I was effectively fasting for 17 hours a day, and very quickly I noticed that I was feeling really good and my body composition was improving. Nowadays, I normally fast for 18 hours a day, but sometimes even up to 22 hours. I eat 2 meals a day and a lot of fruits and nuts in between as snacks. I also occasionally do 22 to 48 hours water fast, and my physique and health have never been better. Bruh. I also train in a fasted state whenever possible and use HMB as an anti-catabolic and fasted training enhancing supplement. You can read more on that in my blog post, link down below. A few months back, my sister and my bro-in-law, Mike, implemented intermittent fasting into their daily routines, and Mike decided to do a bold challenge and do a 7-day water fast. He made a video documenting the process where he also shares his learnings, tips, and all the benefits he experienced. Make sure to check it out, it's really impressive stuff. Link down below. Fasting is, in my opinion, the ultimate biohack for health, longevity, weight management, and mental health benefits. It has been used for centuries in different cultures and religions for both spiritual and health benefits. Additionally, fasting can promote cellular repair and protect against certain diseases such as cancer and Alzheimer's, and also improve blood sugar control and reduce inflammation. Intermittent fasting allows you to reap all the benefits of fasting in an easy to start and implement way. Just make sure you stay consistent, systematic, hydrated, and ditch milk and sugar from your morning brew. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to post that in the comment section. Also, let me know if you want to see a video about fasted training and fasting for athletes. See you next time.